Hey everybody, it's Good Buddy Spider. Let me adjust the camera just a smidge. And we're back with another Hasbro unboxing over here. Move some stuff around over here so I can see better. And yeah, here we go. This is going to be, if I remember correctly, from the Hearts of Steel mini comic. It was a mini series comic where they were back in Old West times, I think. They were in the Old West. So they had steam engines and things. We're going to just go ahead and get right into it while we're doing this. So I'm pretty sure there's two packs that you can get. There's a Optimus Prime and a Starscream, which this is not that. Because the Optimus Prime looked stubby. He didn't look right, and the Starscream was not particularly impressive for me. This is the other set, which I think works better. Actually, I'm up on my porch here. It's late at night. This is the other pack, which is Bumblebee and Megatron. Now, Bumblebee can be a little bit stubby as a steam engine, right? Because he's a small robot. And Megatron is a piece of siege field artillery, which is interesting. I'm looking forward to getting these out of the box. I don't think I'm going to get the other set. I don't like the way the other robots look. I have enough Optimus Primes. I've got enough Bumblebees, really, but this is interesting. So we're gonna give it a try. Let's see about opening up, cutting off some of the tape here. Hey, Mr. Cat, what are you doing over here? No, don't cry at me about it. He's upset, but he's usually upset. Okay. It's in a series of boxes here, and I've made a cut on one, so I've ruined it. Oh well. It's not going to be mint condition no more. Okay. So, slipcase basically slides out. Like an old school expensive game. And it's got like the clockwork stuff and steam stuff all around it. It's kind of cool. I like it. Opens up like a book. And here you got the figures. Now, the only issue I'm going to have is I think they're pretty close to the same size. Megatron should be larger, but, whatever. I guess they got to do what they got to do for scale. Let me see the next part of this. I think I'm going to open it from the top here. Let's get out the Bumblebee first, huh? Let's get him out first. Send him nice and tight. All right, so we got the Bumblebee first. And there he is. He comes with a little blaster, looks like, and a hammer, like a sledgehammer of some kind. Which looks more like a mallet than anything. Make sure I collect all these little pieces. You have another. He's got holding his arms down, his shoulders down, and his lower body. He's got these tie downs. Okay, we got him out. And I'm going to have to transform the foot a little bit because his feet are untransformed. So we'll pull them out. Just pull them out and pull them forward. Instinctive. And he's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. He's got all these little things that come out. Stuff like that. He's got these big shoulder pads. It's like a linebacker. See, they got the train wheels on the side. That's cool. He's got a waist swivel. He's got all the range of motion. He can do all the kicks and all the splits and everything. Joints are nice and tight, not too loose. Shoulder pads are a bit weird though. They don't really go down much. So they just kind of float. They just kind of float there. He's got a big gear on the back, so that's cool. Let's get his accessories out here. This is his hammer. Got the Autobot symbol on it. Peg hole. Goes in his hand. Pretty simple. Nothing too crazy about that. And let's take the little blaster here. The blaster is tiny. It is really small. It is very small. Like, this is ridiculously small. Even for Bumblebee. Put it in his hand. It looks like a little snub-nosed, like 38 revolver kind of thing. Right? Now his chest here looks really big. Big and round. Because it's part of the, he's a steam engine, right? He's a little Thomas the Train kind of thing. He does have ankle swivel too, which is nice to a limited degree, so he can do some posing. It's weird that he has a hammer, but I think in the comic he met the. He's a mythical, legendary. I'm thinking Paul Bunyan, but it's not Paul Bunyan. He's the guy with the axe. He's giant. He's got the big blue cow. What's his name? I feel bad for not remembering his name. I know what it is. It's like right there. But he meets him, and I think because he used to hammer down the train tracks and things and the rivets. So it's right there. It's like right there. Anyway, I better keep going because I won't remember it. Working on the railroad. Why do I keep thinking it's Paul Bunyan? I know for a fact it's not Paul Bunyan. He's the guy with the cow. Johnny Appleseed either. Why am I thinking that? I'm going to have to look it up. It's going to bother me. Let's see. This is probably riveting entertainment right here. Railroad. John Henry. John Henry. Right? And there's a statue of him from somewhere. John Henry. He had the hammer and he fought back he fought back for the rights of his people and things because they were getting basically slave labor to work on the train tracks. So yeah, John Henry. In the comic, he meets John Henry. That's why he has the hammer, I think. All right, so we'll pull out the Megatron, and on the Megatron side, you got the instructions also, which I'll probably need. I'm not going to transform these on camera here because that's always problematic. I don't want to break something or get frustrated. The Megatron figure looks a lot more traditional Transformers style. Except for some big pieces that you'll see in a minute here. Let me get him undone. He's held down by a lot more, and he's bigger out of the box than I thought he was. He's not as small. It was the angle that they had him hanging in, I guess. So where is all of his little tie downs? You got one more over there. And he's got a waist tied on. Gotta keep Megatron secure. Don't want him going on a rampage. Anyway, he's got big plastic, these things covering these wheels on his shoulders, which are free spinning. And they can angle, which is interesting. They spin really good. They spin really well. If they're kind of down, they kind of inhibit his arm motion a little bit, but oh, okay, don't want to do that. That's for transformation. He's not a bad little figure. He's kind of interesting. Although these big wheel things, they kind of irritate me now that I've got it out here. They kind of bug me. Like, he could just go like this and slice his own face off. They get in the way of his arms. They get kind of in the way of his arms. So here he is. He looks kind of cool. He looks like a traditional Megatron. You know, once you get him out, there's a bit of hollowness in the spots, but not too bad. The back is clean. He moves pretty easy. He's got a different spot on this arm than this one, as you can see on the wrist for his fusion cannon. I'll get out now. And it's got a nice little steampunk kind of look to it. And of course, it goes on that spot, which is weird because if it's close enough to be that, why doesn't it just go in his hand? Right? And you can't have him do the classic, like, this kind of motion with it because he doesn't have a wrist swivel. He doesn't have any wrist swivel. But you can kind of do this, I guess, which is weird. I don't know. That part opens up for transformation. Let's not try to do a whole bunch of that. Doesn't quite reattach very well. There's going to be some finicky parts on this guy. I like his look. I like the look, but the figure is showing some problems. The figure is showing some problems here. And I'm not sure how I feel about some of that. But he's fully posable. He's still got, you know, range of motion and everything. He's got the high kicks and the splits and everything. He's got the good, all that. He's got a little bit of, a little smidge of an ankle tilt. Not a whole lot. He's got some. I almost would consider him a separate character. I don't know if I'd consider him Megatron. I would consider him like his own character that was inspired by Megatron. Not like a Tarn, but like, I don't know. This wrist part is gonna bug me because this, he can't, his arms can't move out fully at the side there because of these. They can do it from there, but along the back, that's as far as they go. So I don't like how these wheels are. I'm sure they're great for the transformation. I'm sure they're great for the alt mode, but I don't like them the way they are here. Now, the real figure that I'm waiting to see if they make from this, from Hearts of Steel, is the Shockwave, because Shockwave was a steamship in that comic, which is crazy. And I would like to see that, because I'm a Shockwave guy. You guys know that. I'll make Shockwave collection. But I don't know. I mean, the Bumblebee is kind of neat, and this is kind of cool. I'm not regretting that I bought them, but it's kind of could have been better. Could have been better here. think. Because that one doesn't even, it's on tighter than this one. So this one rolls pretty fluent, and this one just kind of stops after a second, right? So we have some stuff going on with this. I think I'm going to put the gun into his hand rather than on his wrist there, because that wrist thing is getting to be problematic. It gets caught up and opens and closes and does weird stuff, so. And you can kind of put it on that part, like next to the hand on his other side there. But I don't know. I guess it's just better to put it in his hand and have him hold it. He can't hold it effectively in his correct hand either because he's got that piece there. So you have to move that piece out the way. And he still can't. So, okay. Well, so I'm not too impressed with the way that he uses his arm cannon on here, his fusion cannon. So this is not worthy of being Megatron per se, I don't think. He's Megatron-esque. I'll have to look through the various like character profiles and find somebody who was kind of Megatron-ish. And maybe I can call him that or something. I don't know. But he's interesting. He's interesting. So here they are next to each other. And it's a better size comparison there than in the box. Like from foot up. Better comparison. Right? Is it worth getting? If you're a completionist and you really like the comics and things, it's not bad. Seeing these in person makes me feel better about not getting the Starscream and the Optimus pack, because I feel like those would be in person. I wouldn't like those. Because the Starscream is like a prop, not like a prop plane that you would recognize, but some strange experimental design. It doesn't quite look right. It looks like it would be slow, and Starscream is fast. And the Prime is, again, he's bigger than the Bumblebee, but he transforms into a steam engine about the same size, so he looks real stubby. They could make like an Astro Train out of this in this line. That'd be cool because he was already a train, so it wouldn't take too much. You could probably take the War for Cybertron mold, and you could probably adjust it and retool it and make it fit the aesthetic. But I don't know. I want to see what the Shockwave looks like if they make one. So that is. Let me get this packed back in here. What's the Megatron side? Sorry, that is the one of the Hearts of Steel packs from the Hearts of Steel mini-series comic. It was like 4 issues, something like that, and it tied into another one that had like a Cthulhu mythos thing. I didn't really read those. I glanced at them and thought these are weird, and then I just didn't get into it because I don't like to mix my genres quite so much. I like to keep my Transformers separate from all that. I know they're connected to G.I. Joe and all that other kind of stuff, but I don't like my Transformers mixing with the Joes. Only in like a topical level. You know, maybe there's a character here and that back and forth, but not so much like whole storylines, right? So and slide it back into the slipcase. So, you know, it's cool. It's cool. Timelines Bumblebee, Timelines Megatron. And this is what they look like transformed in the back. I'll probably transform them on my own. I don't do that on these videos because it's cumbersome. And I don't want to pop any pieces off and look like I'm a goober. But Is it worth getting? You know, they're not terrible figures. I've had worse figures, and they are an interesting little standout for something that not too many people know of. But unless you're really a completionist, I wouldn't, I wouldn't buy into getting the whole set particularly. I don't think it's necessary. But that's just me. They're kind of cool though, and I'll play around with them. And I think I'll have a good time putting them in poses. I don't know where they'll fit with any of my other lineup because I have nobody else that has this aesthetic. But who knows? If I get the Shockwave, that'll be a little trio if they come out with it, and then who knows? So that's it. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Catch you folks next time.